I'm HunterX, and in today's episode, we automate the netherite scrap by using some create, some thermal, and some more thermal. So with that being said, let's get into today's episode. In today's episode, my plan is to go ahead and get the netherite scrap. Now, I did talk about this last episode, and just to give you guys a quick refresher on how we're gonna go ahead and do that, is we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna pulverize down some gilded blackstone. Gilded blackstone can be made from the solidification chamber. Also, the induction smelter can also do it by using 2 gold nuggets and a blackstone. Blackstone could be made from an igneous extruder with blue ice and lava, not a problem. The gold, however, is going to be quite of an interesting one. We are going to have to wash down some red sand or soul sand. I think I'm going to go with the soul sand option here, because that way we can get one nether quartz, but also red sand is kind of a pain in the butt to make. So soul sand is actually quite easier, just being brown dye. So to get started here, we're gonna need to make the fridge from the Mr. Crayfish mod here. So Mr. Crayfish is a furniture mod, so let's go ahead and do that. We are gonna need this workbench here. It's gonna need a block of redstone and a stone cutter. Honestly, those are pretty simple to make. There we go. And we should be able to make the thing. We are gonna need some iron. We don't have iron, unfortunately. You know what we do have? We do have some extra nuggies, so we can go ahead and do that now. Perfect. The workbench, and we are going to need the fridge, and we are going to need a few other things as well, like the generator for it. So one of these bad boys, we're going to need some more iron, some more redstone, and I think that was a blast furnace. Yeah, so which is going to need more iron. Okay, so we should now be able to go ahead and make the generator that we need. Perfect. And I don't know how this works. Oh, this also needs power. Okay, fair enough. So let's go ahead and put this guy down. We are gonna need a wrench from the mod here. There's a specific wrench that we need. This guy right here. And we're gonna need some leather. Ooh, how does one get leather? I guess we can grab some stuff from the nether for loot. I think making the anti-gravity charm was such a good idea. Traversing the nether is so easy now. With the Wilden wings, we can go ahead and take them and craft them together like this and make some leather, and then that leather is going to make our wrench like so. And what we have to do is take this wrench and press this little square and do that, and they're connected now. And then all we got to do is give it some burnable fuel. Now I'm curious to see if this light gray wood would work in here. It doesn't. Okay, so fair enough. So we are going to need to put some coal in there. So there we go. Grab some coal, put it in there. That should go ahead and start to charge that bad boy. Oh, we gotta flip it on. That's right. Okay, so now that that's on, we can now make a bunch of stuff. So let's go ahead and look at the refrigerator. We're gonna need 9 iron, 3 copper, and 4 redstone. So 4 redstone. I guess what we could do is just grab like a stack of each and then only build one of those, right? So iron and then some copper, and then we should be able to go ahead and make the refrigerator that we need to go ahead and make ice. So 1 refrigerator, please. And there we go. Perfect. And then what we're gonna do is take this, put the refrigerator down, and once again take our wrench and connect it to this guy like so. And then we should be able to go ahead and put some water buckets into the freezer. So where is the nearest water bucket? Maybe in here, right? Perfect. Go ahead and yoink that and then put it in here. And I think once we turn this on, 600 ticks later, we should have 1 piece of ice. Okay, so let's go ahead and make some packed ice really quickly, so that way we can go ahead and turn our packed ice into the blast chiller. Now this is going to allow us to go ahead and make ice passively. First of all, we need a lot of ice actually, so let's go ahead and make this. It shouldn't be terrible. We just need this machine frame and make the blast chiller like so, and then come over here, place it down, give it some power. By the way, I did upgrade to flux ducts because these do unlimited transfer rate. So we are going to need to put some water in here. I did make another aqueous accumulator. What we're going to go ahead and do is break this down here, and what we're going to do is put down our pipe like so, and put our aqueous accumulator down like so. And what we're going to go ahead and do is quickly and easily make ourselves infinite water source, and then that's going to go ahead and pump in the water to the bottom of this thing. I'm really hoping that that works. And then once we do that, we should be good to go. And then I am going to want to make a compactor upgrade from the sophisticated storage mod here, which I think is going to allow us to go ahead and compact it relatively easily and hopefully relatively cheaply as well. I'm not entirely sure how this works, but we're about to find out, I guess. You know what? We could also make the advanced one if we need to, and that should be good to go. Let's go ahead and get ourselves a quick and dirty barrel. Place down the sophisticated barrel like so. Put the advanced compactor upgrade in like so. Does this only work for backpacks? So it turns out we do need this one right here, the advanced compacting upgrade. Basically the same thing, but you just gotta make it like this with this one. I don't know why and how that makes a difference, but sure. And just like that, we now have automated ice, and we're gonna go ahead and auto output like so. And I think this should hopefully craft it. And it does work. Beautiful. Wait a second. I found something I really want to craft. I want to craft a television. Can I put a television on top of the fridge? Hold on. Oh my God. I can. Hold on. Does this actually work? Can it play a YouTube video? Imagine if I could play a YouTube video. It makes noise. Okay, now that we have our blue ice, what we're gonna go ahead and do is grab a bucket of lava like so, and we're gonna come right on over here. And you know what? I forgot cobblestone. We're gonna come over here and we're gonna place down our igneous extruder like so. We're gonna go ahead and put our blue ice inside of it. At least I thought that's how that worked. Does it have to be touching this to be working? I think it does. Okay, so in a testing world, I did some testing, and yeah, turns out you just gotta do this, and now we're making blackstone. Jesus, I can't believe I was so silly. But now that we have blackstone, all we gotta do is carry it into a barrel or something like that. Here is the plan. So I want to make some soul sand, right? And that's gonna require us to go ahead and make, I believe, brown dye unlimitedly, right? Because we need brown dye for the soul sand, and the way that we get brown dye is through the dripping, or we can also handcraft it via this system, right? So I think we're gonna do the dripstone system with some brown water. That should be fine, right? I guess the better question is, we are gonna need sand for that. And sand, dude, there's so many ways to make sand. Like, we can make it through create, we can make it through, I want to say, the igneous extruder, which is probably going to be the way that we're going to go anyway. And I believe I can crush her down through a pulverizer, cobblestone into gravel, and then into sand via the pulverizer. Okay, so here is the plan. I think we're gonna go for the black hole unit. Those are a much better option. The drawers didn't do what I thought they would do, so I ended up going for this one instead, because this one actually has like a sort of drawer-like feature, and it only stores one item, and it has excess void as well, which is super important for us, right? So let's go ahead and take this black hole unit, put it here like so. Go ahead and extract all of the blackstone from in here into here, and then what we could do is make sure that we shift right click and we turn on void excess items like so, and it's gonna void all the excess items once it gets to the 2048, which is perfect. Okay, now that that's done, we're gonna need to figure out what we're gonna do, and I think the best option that we have currently is to go ahead and set up a nice little pulverizer farm for cobblestone. So that means we're gonna need 2 pulverizers, which isn't gonna be hopefully too bad for us. And then yeah, we'll set that up, get it all going, and then that's gonna be turned into what we need for the gold. Okay, so we are gonna need to set up the pulverizer here. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is place down our 2 pulverizers on top of each other like so. 1 and 2. Perfect. Let me also make sure that these are not connected here. Perfect. And now that we have that set up, what we can do is hopefully set this up in a good way. So input on the top, output on the bottom, output to the right like so. And what we're gonna go ahead and do is actually, hold on, I just realized something. Does this drop anything? Cobblestone in the pulverizer minus the gravel, does it give us any byproducts? It does. Okay, it gives us 3 byproducts. That's kind of not ideal. This is gonna have to move over one, I think. Yeah, this is a little bit of an awkward one, I feel. So let's go ahead and break this down, and then we are gonna need some more of those flux ducts that I totally have in my inventory. Perfect. Go ahead and take this and I guess move this here. Yeah, that's gonna be fine. So we're gonna go ahead and put this down like so. So it's gonna be touching this. One pulverizer is gonna be on here like so, and then another one's gonna be on top of it like so. And what we'll do is also configure this side to output, and it's going to output to a black hole tanks. Yeah, we're going to actually have a few of these black hole tanks. So the plan is to go ahead and give this some flint, this some flint, and then give this some sand, and then give this guy some sand. And then I believe we should be able to go ahead and lock these. Ooh, these don't look like they can lock. I'm gonna have to look into that. That's not ideal because that means they can potentially get clogged. So thankfully we can go ahead and take this and filter in what items are allowed to come in here, so that way you know, it doesn't put in the wrong items. Thankfully that's there. So I don't think there's a way to lock these, unfortunately, but hopefully this will do the job, which would be fine, right? Let's go ahead and take this, and I guess I could actually technically put this like right here, and then that would technically be fine. So if I just like cover this, right, this should be more than fine. And then I guess we'll do a full wraparound like that. And then if we just grab some lava quickly, put that there, hopefully that doesn't burn. And then we should start to go ahead and make some of that beautiful cobblestone. And it's not gonna be super fast, right, but this does need a little bit of power. So bam and bam, and auto import, hopefully that works. It does look like it's working. Beautiful. And then auto export. And then you are also going to be auto import and auto export. You're going to export your sand down below. And then you're going to auto export your flint to the left, which is perfect. And then, yeah, we should all be good now. Good in the hood. That's going to start making the sand for us. Beautiful. Now that we have that, we are going to need a way to get some brown dye. So what we'll do is grab ourselves some dripstone. Do we have any extra spare? We do not have any extra dripstone, but we can go ahead and make some. And then a barrel. I'm actually deciding on how many I want to make here. I'm thinking we also do 16. Okay, so what we're gonna go ahead and do now is take our sand and put it into here. I did make a bunch of dripstone, and we went down here and we put it into this jumbo tank, and this is gonna start dripping water into this guy, and hopefully, you know, move that water up into here like so. And then what we're gonna go ahead and do is take that bad boy and slap it with a wrench, which is gonna give us the brown dye. And now that that brown dye has been extracted like so, we're gonna take this and then set this up like so, and now that's gonna make some brown dye. Perfect. And then let's also make sure that this only accepts brown dye and nothing more, nothing less. Beautiful. Now we just need to figure a way that we're gonna go ahead and downcraft this bad boy easily. Do we have crafters? We do. The sequential fabricator can work for this, and I think I can use that. Perfect, I can. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is take our sequential fabricator, place it down like so. On the right side, import like so. We are gonna need power, so we're gonna go ahead and run this guy like so. I am gonna make sure that that's disabled. Perfect. And now that we have that, all we gotta do is tell it to pull an item out, which I don't know why it's not pulling that one out. You know what? I bet I know what it is. It needs an active crafting recipe. Yep, there it is. So it needs a active crafting thing to work. And then all I gotta do is actually, you know what? No, not even that. I am not gonna even store the dye at all. I am just gonna go ahead and send it right into another fabricator to go ahead and make the soul sand. I think that's probably the best action actually. And just like that, we are about to go ahead and make our very first set of soul sand. Beautiful. We love to see that. And then all we gotta do is put it into another one of those black hole tanks, and we're ready to go. Okay, so there's two more parts to this plan, and this one next part is going to be basically to do with create. So we're going to need a couple of fans to start with, because we need to wash our soul sand down into nether quartz and also gold nuggets. So that's currently the plan. So I think we're gonna go with at least like maybe like 4 or so of these fan thingies, because that way we can go ahead and wash things much quicker than usual. So we are gonna need some andesite alloy, but the propeller is fine. There we go. And get me the andesite alloy with a few stripped logs. Do I have any more stripped logs? I do, but I'm not sure if these colored ones would work. So let's go ahead and put these down real quick. So you and you, and and slap them like this. Perfect. Now we are going to need 2 more of those. And I'm also going to need to check what I have for shafts. I don't have many shafts either. Andesite alloy is going to require andesite, which is going to require gray and light gray dye. Okay, so we are going to need some water wheels. Thankfully, those are relatively cheap to make. I do need a couple of these. I think 8 is going to be enough to like do like max washing essentially. And we are going to need to strip some more logs again with some of that andesite alloy again, and make, you know, actually let's make at least like a couple more of these because we are going to need them for other things down the road. So we might as well just make them now and not have to worry about it so much, right? So for this to work, we are going to need some belts, by the way, and belts require, I believe, kelp in this mod, whereas the good old create belts, yeah, mechanical belts require dried kelp, and dried kelp comes from smelting kelp, which I believe we can get with green dye and lime, which thankfully we have some of. I don't think we're gonna need too much of this. Let's go ahead and take this and then cook this up. So I made a mistake. I went to go move my nether portal, and yeah, I can't relight my nether portal, unfortunately. So yeah, it looks like we're gonna have to go and make the nether painting, I guess, but that's not the problem that we're gonna be facing right now. The problem that we're gonna be facing right now is I need to make a few more cog wheels, so that way we can go ahead and you know, make our thing a little bit more faster. I am gonna need a couple more shafts. I am out of shafts, unfortunately, but yeah, let's go ahead and make a couple more of these gears, right? And we can actually make the water wheels go super fast by using a gear ratio, aka transmission. So what we have to do is place this here, not there actually. We are gonna need at least a shaft gap, so 1 shaft, and then what we're gonna go ahead and do is place a cogwheel, and then we're gonna go ahead and place a smaller cogwheel, and then a bigger cogwheel, and then a smaller cogwheel, and then a bigger cogwheel, and then a smaller cogwheel, like so. And now that it's super fast, all we gotta do is take 2 gearboxes and convert them to vertical gearboxes, like so. Put a shaft in between them two, like so, and then do this bad boy like so, if I can actually place it in the right direction. There we go. Also for this, we need to make sure that the fans are going to be blowing in the right direction. So what we're going to do is place down our fans like so, and I'm going to teach you guys a little cool technique, by the way. So if you take 2 shafts like this, and then you run the belt across them like so, it's going to go ahead, and that is definitely pushing perfect. And what you're gonna do is take your shafts, wherever your, you know, extra shafts are, and place them inside the belt. Now all of these should be blowing perfect. And now what we're gonna go ahead and do is, I guess, take this, and we want to go this way. Which way is this blowing actually, or which way is the belt gonna move? That's the better question, because that's actually very important, which way the belt is moving. So if I grab myself some of this real quick, and I think that's all I need, right? So if I take this, and this belt is actually moving this way, so yeah, we want it to go the opposite direction. So, and I can't really do that with this because, yeah, that's gonna be a problem. Also do something like this and run a belt like this across here. And actually, I don't really need this, do I? This last one here. So I can just do this technically. And I guess what we could do is make another quick and dirty gearbox, and then that should in theory rotate the belt to go the other direction, which is what we want, right? I almost forgot to make the gearbox, and then the gearbox is gonna go here, and now this belt is gonna go to about, I want to say like here. Yeah, here is gonna be fine. Oh, actually no, wait, hold on, it needs to go one more forward. Right, it needs to go one more forward because we need to be able to fit water in between here, and we'll put a block here like so, and then run this across, and now that should be facing this way. Perfect. And then what we're gonna go ahead and do is place down our, whatchamacallit, our block here, and then there's going to be another storage thing underneath here for holding the nether quartz. Now I don't know, does water damage belts? Because if water damages belts, we're going to have to do this in a different manner than the way that we're doing this, but if it works, it will be great. So if I come over here and place this down, it does look like the belts do not get damaged by water, which is perfect. And this is like literally the ideal like washing setup, right? And we're gonna quickly just make 2 more black hole units, and we're gonna go ahead and place down the common black hole unit here, and we're also gonna place one underneath this guy. And once we do that, we are gonna want to filter these, by the way, so that's gonna be very important here. So I'm gonna go ahead and place down this unit down here, shift right click and filter it for the nether quartz. And then what I'm gonna go ahead and do, I made these andesite funnels, which are made out of andesite alloy and dried kelp, and you're just gonna basically put into this guy here from underneath here. Oh, that's interesting. Maybe we want it one more higher then. And then you, my friend, you're gonna be put into here, and you're just gonna get the gold nuggets like so. And then all I gotta do is take my item pipes, hopefully, and we're gonna run them to the edge of this belt here like so. And we're gonna have you extract all your soul sand like so into this pipe, and it should, in theory, go ahead and start to, oh yeah, that's a problem. So yeah, we're gonna probably want to move this fan at the end to here. Yeah, alrighty. So I had to do some reconfiguring, but I think I figured out how I can get this to work. So if I did this and then I put this down here on top of this like this, it should drop into there just fine. And then this should hopefully work. I hope it doesn't drop soul sand into there. It's not looking too promising. Okay, that's not ideal. So that funnel system's not gonna work here. So I think what we could do potentially is make some item ducts if those exist. Those don't look like those exist. What do we have for ducting? We have flux ducts, fluid ducts, and window fluid ducts. We don't have any item ducts, I don't think. You know what, actually? I have a theory. Can the item cable pull from this belt? I think it can. So my theory is it will just pull the nether quartz and only the nether quartz, because that's the only thing that can go inside of this guy right here anyway. I think that works. Now, I guess there's only one way to find out. So if I throw that there, it gets washed. No, because it's gonna throw it into there, into the item pipe. Oh, you know what we could do actually? This is scuffed, I know, but what if I just run it back into this? I know this is a really bad idea. You should never have a loop or anything. I think that's just like the only way to do it, unless if we like run like a long cable. So it turns out there is a thing called a filtered data card. I wonder how this works. So we need some paper for this. Do we have any way of making paper other than like sawdust? Wait, no, wait. We can make sugarcane for sure with like, yeah. Do I have any extra lime dye? I think I do. Beautiful. I actually can make some paper really quickly. So take that, and we're gonna need to make some of that beautiful paper really quickly. Once we make some sugarcane with this, didn't realize I can use blocks, but fair enough. And then there we go. Let's go ahead and make some of this beautiful paper. Once we do that, we can go ahead and make the charcoal paper or the carbon paper, and then the carbon paper plus some purple dye and some iron nuggets should give us this filter data thing. And yes, we can filter data. Perfect. So if I want to filter, let's say like nether quartz, for example, or no, not nether quartz, sorry, soul sand, because this is, you know, going in a circle or whatever. I think we can do that and deny list, ignore list. And I think we take this and shove it in here, and that should stop it from extracting. Perfecto. And now we take that and we put our soul sand back, and yeah, now we can, you know, let it get some gold nuggets. Perfect. Now that we have that, the last thing that, well, there's 2 more things that we have to do, right? So we have to make another pulverizer, right? So another pulverizer, and then we need to make a induction smelter, because yeah, we're gonna need to induction smelter our blackstone plus our gold nuggets, which will then give us the gilded blackstone, and then we pulverize that, and then that gives us hopefully some netherite scrap, which is going to be key to what we want here. So now that we have this, plop this down here. The last thing that we're going to need to do is, I guess, plop this down right here, and I'm going to run a cable underneath here, so that way we can go ahead and get that going. Oh, that's going to be a problem that we're going to have to deal with, you and make sure that you are not connected in any way, shape, or form, right? Make sure that these are not connected, but these guys stay connected. Beautiful. We'll have to do that more. And then you're gonna run underneath the base like so into the back of this, which is going to be there. I gotta break and replace this cable so it connects. And the last thing that we got to do is run this guy. You know, honestly, I was gonna run it underneath, but honestly, it's not even that bad. Honestly, if I just run this across like this, I don't have enough. Fair enough. And I guess I can break this because I don't need it there. But let's go ahead and extract from this guy like so, and then extract from this guy like so. And unfortunately, that is gonna mean that this is gonna be a little bit more slower, but this should in theory work. Why did it not put the gold nuggets inside of there? Oh, I see. Okay, that's a problem. But you know what? That's a problem that we can actually fix by putting it underneath, unfortunately. And just like that, we now have that making the good old beautiful black gilded stone. Now I'm wondering, this is starting to struggle a little bit here, and I don't really know why. It says 120,000 RF. Wow, that's a lot of RF. We actually might be running out of power here, which is not ideal. So how bad is the first upgrade piece for this? Because yeah, I think we can make this. This isn't too bad. It's 4 Invar. How many dynamos we have? We have 8. I'm gonna need a lot of Invar. Oh no. Okay, so I should be able to go ahead and take some of these. I'm gonna need 8 of these now. I'm hoping I have quite enough for this. I don't know. I have enough to make at least like 5 for now, but that's good. So we can go ahead and take these and upgrade these. Now I do know that we can also make some augments here that are going to allow us to go ahead and make more power. Yeah, the auxiliary reaction chamber upgrades are probably what we want here. So I can probably make a those need signalum. Okay, that's quite expensive for that actually, but this should now be making 80 arithmetic, which is honestly not that much better. But yeah, I might want to consider maybe making some auxiliary upgrades potentially for the induction smelter for that guy. That's kind of not ideal now, is it? That's gonna pull in the gilded blackstone now, and then that's gonna go ahead and pulverize it, and hopefully, oh, would you look at that, we got gold and we got a piece of netherite scrap. Beautiful auto output. And I think what we're gonna go ahead and do is I'm gonna run a cable across like this, and I'm gonna basically tell you no, don't do that, and we're gonna go across this guy like so. Let's also make sure that these say no and no. And then you're gonna come over here into here, and you're gonna run a loop like so, and I guess you're gonna extract, always active. Now the only problem that I see here is going to be, how are we gonna deal with netherite scrap? And I guess the only way that we're gonna have to deal with it is by putting it into a black hole unit and then voiding once we get enough. That's pretty much all that we can do at this point. I mean, like, I guess we could make a bigger black hole unit or whatever. I think this is going to be more than enough. Do I have any more iron nuggets, or are we completely out? We're completely out. Alrighty, so we should be able to make our very last thing that we need for this, which is going to be storing the netherite scrap. I was going to take this and make sure it only receives netherite scrap, and boom, Bob's your Uncle Fanny, your aunt. There is your netherite scrap automation. Unfortunately, guys, it is time to wrap up today's episode. With that being said, if you guys did enjoy today's episode of Skyfactory 5, do me a huge favor, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, ding dong that notification bell, become a counselor of elder. As always, guys, I'm gonna love you. I'm gonna leave you till next time. Bye-bye.
My mind reckless, thoughts are feeling endless, sitting up on breathless anxiety.